Yo, what up, TascFam? It's Mike from 424recording.com. We're just hanging 10 tonight, waiting for my man Jay to show up. And yeah, if you're watching the replay, don't forget, you can always go 1.5 or 2 times as fast through it to catch everything that we chatted about. The live chat is now also playing back, so that's cool. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to know whenever we go live. But I'll just tell you right now, we always go live Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the first Saturdays of each month at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to be, hey guys, what's going on? I see Coop and Matt are already here somehow. You guys are super fast, super fly. And we got a couple of songs queued up here. So we're going to, let me pop out this chat, make sure this is working. I got my new setup going on. It's looking pretty solid. But yeah, Jay's, I think, running a little behind schedule. Since we started going a little earlier, he's been having a hard time. I'm sure he'll be here soon. Anyway, I want to start off the stream with a little Reverie of Palms action. I'm going to play a couple tunes for you, and as we wait for the notifications to get sent out, and as we wait for Jay to show up. So should be cool. I'm going to go boil some water for the coffee, and we'll be back. So passes guns in the South. All right, we'll be back and we'll play some tunes for you. Move this thing over. Trying to figure out. Right. Jay has arrived. We're just gonna get the coffee going, pump this up.
first day, running 2 or 3. Now in a new way, I would hope you'd see. You were never what you thought. Yeah, there's something right for me to say. Yeah, there's something right now for me to say. Something right. Something right. With a half step, I took it to the bridge. With his goose step, he was now rich. No intent to argument. Never sure if you can make him smile. stable instruments. Making sure play away while I tell you that there's something right for me to say. Yeah, there's something right now for me this way. Something right. Something right. Yeah, there's something right for me to say. Yeah, there's something right now for me to say. Yeah, there's something right for me to say. Something right. Yeah, there's something right for me to say. Yeah, there's something right now for me to say. Something right. Something right.
Yo, what up, TascFam? Jay's just we're just getting the coffee brewed up. We're gonna be in here in a second. We just checked out Reverie of Palms, Serenity, Mr. Nano again coming through with Rosa. That was just Benjamin, Holy Moly. And this is just for Miser, so we're gonna rock it. We'll be back in a minute. You like that side of the river or this side?
This side. That's it. Sawkill Road to Burley Avenue to Binneywater Road down through Rosendale.
Nice.
32.
Yo, what up, TascFam? See, we got some people floating around. What's going down? Guys, Jay is here. We just ate. We finished eating. And welcome to 424 Recording Live. We got to adjust the cam a little. I see I'm using this thing now that
weird.
Bill gave me through the computer. I think we still got to go this way. Let me just close the door. Cat, bro. I don't know, he'll be around, but
You want the weight in it?
yeah, I guess in case he wants to come in. So what's going on, TascFam?
I'm trying to get to this chat. I don't know why I can't get there.
Oh shit, we got it right here. Oh, Will Farts. Greetings from Florida. I'll be back in New York next Thursday. That's a buddy of yours, right?
Yeah.
Shop.
Yeah.
What's going on, Will? Safe travels, my friend.
Who the hell is Dreams of Dinosaurs?
I don't know. Hey, David, what's going on? Oh, we got Hey, I'm Bishu. What's up, Bishu? Thanks for coming through. JMA's here. What's going on? Andrew, what's going on? John Pittman, what's going on? Coop, Matt. Yeah, so we played Matt's new track, Serenity, from his band Reverie of Palms.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he sent it to me. And I was like, yo, man, send me that track. I want to play it on the stream. So we bumped it on the stream just now.
Nice.
We started off at the top of the hour with that one from Reverie of Palms. Matt's probably got a link for you. And then we heard from Mr. Nano. Mr. Nano's been hitting me up in Gmail about some 4-track issues they've been having. And
oh yeah?
Yeah, but I think it's just the machine, like some, classic stuff. But Mr. Nano's Rosa we played that one. It's a cool track.
Nice.
And then Joel actually just put out a new EP with his brothers, Benjamin. They're pretty sick.
Yeah, sweet.
Kind of reminds me like Jeff Buckley or something. It's really interesting. From across the pond, our UK friends over there. And then we ended the playlist with Surmiser from their new EP, Unreleased, right?
Unreleased.
So you heard it here first, folks. That's a really cool one. That was mastered by
Oliver Ackerman.
Oliver Ackerman from
from Death by Audio.
The
Death by Audio Effects giant.
Yeah, and we're gonna be well, when is that coming out?
June 9th is June 9th is the release show. June 8th is the official street drop.
Drop. That's gonna be cool.
We got some PR push premieres and stuff coming up. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Was over the weekend we shot a video too. Oh, cool. We shot a quick video for one of the tracks off the new EP. That's going to be awesome. So
that's also going to be a premiere.
Yeah, nice. So that's going to be exciting. I was going to put some footage in one of the new vlogs coming out, but I'm going to wait till we get a little closer to the date. I don't want to take away the premiere.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, Jonas Brothers, way better than Jonas Brothers. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, with like the PR thing, and it's like, when you're doing an EP, it's you got to kind of manage your content carefully because you don't really have a lot of content. So got 4 songs coming out. One of them has a music video. What we do with it, how it leaks, has to be carefully quarantined.
Yeah, you guys are really doing like an official push for this, which is really exciting. Something I've never done.
But retrospectively, I kind of think that it might have been better to experiment with PR with like a full length. But
well, I mean,
we're gonna do it with an EP, and that'll be the experiment. And then when the next full length is ready, we can decide if
give them some bite-sized pieces, rather than the whole buffet. And I think that's a good plan, though, man. I mean, that's something we were talking about on the channel a couple of weeks ago or last month about why you should only release albums, why you should only release singles. And I think it just depends on what you want to do, but we didn't really touch upon EPs, but I think EPs are a great way to go too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a stickler for the definition of releases. Like if you have one song and that's the only thing you've got recorded on the reels and you really want to put something out, then drop it as a single. If you have 4 songs, drop it as an EP. If you have a whole record worth of stuff that you're sitting on and you're itching to do it, I think you should just drop that too. Why not?
I've actually been, not to be me-centric, but because it relates to what we're talking about, Wonders of Color is something I've been trying to get done for Be Cool Cowboy.
Yeah.
I think I started it before Jay was playing with me, and then I just never finished it. And I don't know, I have like 5 songs that are like great. I think I'm just going to put them out like that.
I think you should.
Because I've been just, I have like a bunch of other songs that I recorded with them, but I don't know, they just don't strike me as like worthy of album material. Maybe I'll have them as like, ghost tracks where you download it and you get those too.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just maybe I'll just do that, man. Because it's like I have the thing ready to go, and it's like, I don't know, I've been working on a lot of stuff and getting some stuff going with the website, and was working on a new website for 424 Recording.
Yeah.
We're working on some stuff for the services tab, and we got a lot of projects in the pipeline. The Kickstarter, obviously. So it's,
which has been, might you add, really popping off.
Yeah, that's been going crazy too. Thanks for
appreciate you guys' support.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's been a crazy month. And that was the big reason why we would scale back the releases of the channel too, because
a lot going on, folks. A lot going on.
So it's been awesome. It's been hectic, but
and I'm on camera digging metal splinters out of my hand.
Oh yeah, did you get that solder out of your eye?
Yeah, fucking sucked. I think
You want to tell us what happened?
Nothing really happened per se.
Something just exploded, right?
Well, I was working on this guy's bass last night in the studio, and I got this hot shit new soldering iron. It's a smaller pencil, lighter weight, but more heat. So I was heating up some star ground stuff on the back of a pot, and it got much hotter, much quicker than I expected it would, and it released the wires with a shot when I wasn't expecting it to, and a blob of solder hit me right in the eye. Jeez. Burned a little spot like over my iris a little bit there.
What? Can you see okay?
Yeah, I can see fine.
But do you have like a spot in your eye now?
Yeah, only at certain angles though. Oh, but I got the solder was still in there when I got home. And
dude, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's crazy.
I've gotten metal in my eyes so many times now that I know how to get it out without going anywhere. So it's like I just got the blob of shit out, and the burn thing is what it is. Dude. And I'm already like full of lead, I'm sure, so it doesn't really matter.
And so now, what do you got? You got some metal in your hands there too?
Yeah, I didn't notice that one until I sat down here though. But I suspect it's from a speaker basket I was working on today.
Damn.
I was reconing a bunch of super rare, super expensive Fanes. I got 12 of them in the shop right now out of some early high watt cabinets.
Damn, nice.
So yeah, they're sweet fucking speakers, but the baskets were in rough shape. Whatever.
Damn. So how's things going at the speaker shop? It's going good?
Going pretty good, yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah. Been turning a lot of shit. I've been, producing as much as I possibly can in there.
Yeah.
And trying to keep my number of hours in the shop as low as I possibly can. I think I've been averaging about 3.5 hours a day this week, which really isn't shit. But I've done, I don't know, about $1,800 worth of speakers so far this week. So, it's pretty good. So let me catch up a little bit.
Yeah, we got to catch up on the chat here, guys. One quick thing, how's the sound? We're going through the this webcam I got from my buddy Bill. So just looks like the volume's okay to level, but if it's too low or something, we'll try to adjust it.
Hey, I have an issue. I have 2 songs, but they're connected by one long reverse guitar track. Should I split it into 2 songs or combine it into one long song? I think if it was me and I had a long reverse guitar track that was dividing my songs, I would find the middle of that reverse guitar track and cut it and let it be 2 songs with the reverse guitar track as the lead out of one and the lead into the other. That's just me.
I'm going back up here. Twin said we're gonna need the Capro cam.
Oh yeah, and what's up, Will?
Hey, Will, what's going on?
Will Farts.
Oh yeah, Will Farts. I thought maybe Will from across the pond came through.
Nah, but I've been emailing him
Oh,
back
cool.
and forth.
Cool.
Had to get him some files to produce those PC boards I designed for him.
Oh, nice.
Because he realized once he printed it out that the boards are only this big and that making those at home would be a pain in the ass. So.
Oh shit.
And to anybody interested, the Fuzzrite and Fuzzface mini boards we were talking about in the last couple of streams, those shipped from Portland, Oregon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yesterday. So
we're talking about those last week, was that? Or
2
weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Cool.
But I've had a few emails asking about those, so I should have those probably early to mid next week, and then I'll build one of each and make sure that they work.
Cool. That's exciting, man.
And then I got to know if you guys want, the couple of you that want them, if you want kits with all the parts, or if you're just looking to get, the boards or how you want to do it. I've got some really super
awesome.
I got some super dope fucking Russian germanium transistors from the 70s that would probably be pretty damn sweet in either one or both of those things, but I'm going to do a few experiments.
Nice, man.
So, all right. So, hello, everybody.
Yeah, what's going on?
Welcome to the Wednesday night stream.
Capro is nowhere to be found, twin. So if he comes in, though, we'll set it up. We got Jeb coming through. So a question. Oh yeah, hey, Bishu says I actually made it to a live stream. Welcome, Bishu. David, what's going on? Going to be starting my dishwashing job, so my schedule is going to be super tight between that and other business-related ventures and about the referral, but I'll definitely need time. Cool. I think that was referring to meeting up.
JMA said like 5 months ago, I got a tiny piece of solder in my eye, size of a pencil point. It's still there, I believe. It also happened from wire slinging it. Yeah. I don't know if I told you guys about the dumbest thing that's ever happened to me from flying wires, but it was like,
I don't think I ever heard this one.
It was about a month ago.
What?
So my meter was on my multimeter was on the floor next to my couch, with the leads wrapped around it, with the points facing out. And I picked the meter up and the leads came flying around, and one of them went up my nose and stabbed a hole in the inside, and it bled for like an hour. That's the dumbest fucking thing that's ever happened to me from flying wires.
I can't even believe that.
Yeah, I probably couldn't do it again if I tried.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it again if I tried.
Yeah, that's like one of those freak things.
That super sucked. I hurt like hell. It's like getting punched in the face. John, I bet you have a long list of injuries. Yeah, I do have quite an extensive list of injuries and things that were broken at one point, and okay. Practice to wear goggles. I don't ever wear goggles. That's my biggest downfall when it comes to the things I work on.
You got to get some of those glasses, man.
I have those now for when I'm cutting or grinding metal. I never used to wear them, but when I cut and grind metal, I have safety sunglasses and safety glasses, and I have a full face shield if I need it. And when I weld, I wear obviously an auto darkening helmet, but other than that, I'm not really all about eyewear and headgear and shit. But I probably should be, since things keep going in my eyes. What up, J-Rad?
Hey, J-Rad,
safety squints, exactly. Safety squints got me through like 20-some years of my life before metal started getting in my eyes. I guess my squint reflex isn't as good as it used to be, maybe.
I see an interesting comment from Twin. He said,
what up, Will? Will is here now.
Oh, cool. What's going on, Will? Bishu said he's been at school, they've been at school, so it's been crazy to get into the stream. And then
word.
Twin said, drop out and enroll in 424 University. Professor Mike and Wizard will teach you well, which is actually kind of funny. I don't think we won't unveil an idea that we have floating around, but that's not too far off from something we've been batting around. So that whole thing.
I see.
We'll just put that out there
I forgot all about that thing.
Nice high school student. Well, do your studies. You know,
Don't-
we'll be here.
Don't quit high school ever.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Trust me, don't do it.
When you got the time, come through. We'll be around. No worries about missing the stream. Glad to have you coming through, though.
High school might suck
Stay in
ass, but
school.
beats the alternative. Trust me.
Only tuition is your internet bill. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like blast through these. Oh, nice. Yeah, good. Thanks for bumping the Benjamin stuff. Thanks for Matt stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, Coop's doing the compilation too. So I don't know if he threw a. Oh yeah, he put the link up there. Okay, cool. So actually, you guys are probably already. I'm just trying to catch up with what's going on. If we glossed over anything that you had questions about, just hit us up again. I'm kind of going through this kind of fast so I can get back to the bottom. Shameless plug, nice. Will. Mr. Nano, what's going on? Mr. Nano, we bumped your track in the beginning, so good to have you coming through again. I don't know if you were here for that. Great track, Rosa. I don't know if it's up anywhere, Mr. Nano. You should put it up though. These guys, the TascFam's probably interested in bouncing it, so bumping it. Okay, so Mr. Nano says, if I panel to the left, it work in mono, but if it gradually pan to the right, the volume starts to get quieter until it reaches 0 decibels, hard panning to the right. I don't know. Switched everything, and I'm not the only one. 3 people in forums have the same problem. Do you know if this is an easy fix, or is it a super complex circuit thing? Does that sound like anything?
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm reading ahead. Where am I?
Mr. Nano, right below where Jamie was saying he got
Okay.
solder in his eye.
Seems one people say problem. Pan knob doesn't work. If I pan all the way to the left, it works in mono, but if I gradually pan to the right, the volume starts to get quieter until it reaches 0. Hard panning to the right. 0 hard panning to the right. What machine is this on?
Porta 02? Your pedigree, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be a circuit problem. Is it only one track that works that way? Because if it's the whole machine that works that way, it could either be your right output or the chips in the bus for the right side.
Yeah, it sounded like
so Mr. Nano, is that only one track that does that, or is it all of the tracks that do that? Like the right side is. Yeah. And then I'm gonna skip ahead.
Yeah, I'm back to the beginning.
So Too Rare says, yeah, don't drop out. Once upon a time, you could survive with a diploma, without a diploma, I guess, but no more.
Good enough diploma, GED.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, if you're smart, you don't need any of that shit. But smart only gets you so far. You got to be resourceful as well. And for the average person, it's a really stupid fucking idea to drop out of school and try to make it on their own, because it's a big, scary world out here once you get in it. I quit school when I was 17, beginning of my 11th grade year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you ever go back?
I got a GED when I wasn't even 18 yet. I got the GED.
Good enough diploma.
Yep. And, never went to any college shit. I took college HTML classes when I was 13. But I've never actually had any like formal college training or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, school didn't really.
Well, it's like a box, and they try to slam everybody into it.
It just didn't satisfy the needs that I had for the things that I wanted to know.
I had a similar. I mean, I graduated, and I did also go to college, but I feel like that happened to me as well. Like, now I think when I got into high school, it just wasn't challenging, and I just completely spaced out. And I mean, obviously I graduated, but I feel like, yeah, it's the same thing. It was like trying to teach you stuff that you should know, and it's like,
I always felt like in school, especially the further I got, into high school, it felt like they were trying to teach you all the shit they wanted you to know or needed you to know so you could pass their tests, but they didn't teach you anything that was practical.
Yeah.
If
it was just like facts.
Well, it's like mathematics, even like the things that they teach you, like, learn basic algebra, geometry, and a little bit of trigonometry, and you can get through anything you want in life. But they leave out all the like super important shit, like you know, like most kids that come out of school can't read a fucking ruler. Learn to read a tape measure. 99% of the things you'll do as an adult, if you ever make anything, will involve a tape measure. So learn how to use that. They didn't cover enough about practical things like taxes, like how taxes work and how to calculate them at the end of the year and all those things. Learn that shit.
Yeah, you would think that would be like a class just dedicated to that.
But like, you know.
Well, I think that's what's exciting about today is that if you have a clear idea of what it is that you want to do with yourself, there's so many resources online with online courses, online video classes, stuff like live streams like this, that you can go and find whatever it is that you want. I think if you have a really clear sense of what it is that you want to do, then yeah, fuck high school, fuck college.
No, I wouldn't say fuck high school. They'll at least get the diploma.
Well, yeah.
Even if you like,
but I mean, like,
even if you just barely cross home plate, get there. But you know, as far as the rest of it, man, like, you know, it used to be that a 2-year degree guaranteed you a good job someplace. Now you're lucky if like, you know, 4 years and like a fucking whatever, like a master's even past that will get you any place that's worth the shit. So, you know, they're taking the focus off of all the trades and the technical skills that people have had forever, and they're replacing it with business degrees and, you know, certificates in
and really
graphic design and shit, which is, you know, there's all these like, there's been a lot of like, you know, sort of dead end jobs that have become like everybody's pipe dream. It's like, you know, it's cool if you want to be a graphic designer, but realize that there's like, you know, 282 million of those already. If you want to be a nurse, like realize there's 282 million of those already.
Yeah. I just look at some of these kids, like high school kids playing like video game streaming. Like some of these kids are making 6 figures just playing like a video game. It's like, I mean, yeah, I guess it suits that kid to go to school and finish high school, but like in the long term, it's like that kid's probably gonna figure out something to do via the internet with his business of playing games. And I mean, he's probably made more money than, you know, people in our parents' generations made in their lifetime. You know, it definitely made more money than I have in my lifetime by just playing like a game. I guess that's what I was kind of saying before, is like that person to me seems to have a very clear, maybe they just completely lucked out with that whole setup, but it's like, you know, I was watching a couple guys on YouTube gaming with it, and it's like, that's awesome. Like, great for them that they figured out. And maybe that's the exception to the rule. But it's like some people have this, if they have this very clear path forward, because like to me, it's like, yeah, clearly that kid has some business acumen or some idea of how to, I don't know, work online for himself. I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I guess I feel like if you have I never had a very clear path growing up. It's only until now, it's now that I'm 33, that I feel like I have a clear path forward and a spot that I'm moving to on the horizon. But like, you know, somebody who's like 18, 17, and if you have that clear of a vision of what you want to do, like I say go for it, you know? I
say if you're 17 or 18 and you're watching this, if you're not already on the path of learning as much as you can about everything that you can, get on that path. Get your hands dirty, learn how to do shit.
Yeah, get out there.
There's going to be a point in time where you're going to need every single skill you can amass. And I'm not talking like some apocalypse type of shit.
4 type.
I'm talking about like real world, like when you're 35 and you buy a house and like, you know, you have a leak in your plumbing, or like, you know, you need to replace a switch or whatever the fuck it is, you know, learn all the shit, even if it's not skills that you hone to perfection. Like, learn how to do a little bit of every single thing you can possibly think of. But anyway,
this is a fascinating turn of events from the live stream. Yo, Andrew, what's going down? There's a Portal Studio plus 30 Type 2 tapes on Reverb right now for one. Whoa. Can you link us, Andrew? Let me see if we can find that. That looks pretty good. BFA won't get me anything. Bachelor of Fine Arts. Oh yeah, your art's great though, Andrew. I mean, I would say keep doing it as much as you can. I know little house skills from working with my dad is he's a contractor. We'll have to get to learn about taxes.
Yeah, well,
If he's a contractor, he probably knows all about them. So,
or he's fortunate enough to have a guy that does all that.
just putting this thing on.
But yeah, and don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on you guys that have, degrees in these things or that are working in these fields. I mean, if you're making a living and you're happy doing it, then hell yeah. But, I think it's thin ice to put the up and coming generation on their way out of high school into these roles that are already in, saturated markets. It's it's crazy. They've taken the focus off of,
I think too, like a lot of college degrees are so specific as to what you can do with them. Like I went to school for like English and writing. I wanted to be a professor.
Yeah,
that was my thing, honestly, for a long time. Got into a great state school, had partial tuition assistance, and but that degree, aside from writing, videos and writing scripts, and I used to write for my buddy Sean, the guy who did Down Low, and I used to write for myself. But it's like I kind of wish that somebody had told me. Well, people were telling me, but I just didn't listen to them. But that degree is utterly and completely worthless because there's how many kids getting that degree every year that want a professor job that is a highly sought after position, if you can even get there.
Yeah.
And then you have these situations where there's 3,000 applicants for one position.
Yeah.
And it's like either somebody needs to figure out like, okay, here's how many jobs there are in this field, and here's how many degrees we can give out, or they should just not offer those. I think they shouldn't even have a program like that at least the school I went to, because I don't know.
Well, I think having programs in place for everything is not a bad thing. I think trying to stuff a square peg in a round hole is the problem. It's like they try to figure out which of 5 potential things might fit you, and then they stuff you in there, and then they never tell you that on the backside of that there's nothing for you.
Right.
It's like, well, we have this program and it kind of looks like you might fit. So
yeah,
and that's it. It's shit, man. It's shit. Get real world experience. Get your hands dirty.
More real world experience or knowledge. Like I don't know, man. Like I just think that certain degrees they shouldn't even be charging people to go get because they're worthless.
Yeah,
that's a conversation for another time. But
Bishu says, "What do you guys do for a living now?" Well, I'm not sure how I always tell people that I'm freelance. I do a little bit of everything. So that's plumbing and electrical and construction and paint work and, carpentry and electronics and repairs and recording and rebuilding speakers. And, I cut a little bit of grass here and there. Pretty much anything that makes money,
Yeah, I worked at the post office for a very long time, much longer than I should have. And I recently moved on from that position. And now I'm going to be working with Hapro on the farm. Yeah. So I can't complain right now. But that was a complete waste of my life too. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that, but
no. I
could have just gotten that job right out of high school, though. It wasn't.
Maybe, but I think without the experience of that and the aggravation that you lived through with that, you probably wouldn't have been, strong enough to make the move you made either.
That's true. I learned a lot about myself and learned a lot of real skills and how to deal with people and workplace politics and what it takes to get things done. And I really figured out what it is I really want. And that's a big reason why I end every video by saying, make sure you do something that you want to do today, because I spent probably 10 years of my life not doing very many things that I actually wanted to do. So I think it's a very important thing to really figure out what it is you want. And that's something that, going back to the whole conversation about schooling, I never knew what I wanted. So I was just kind of following this path of being blown in the wind, and I think that's one of the most important things. And one of the hardest things to figure out in life is what the fuck is it that you want to do? Because if you don't figure that out, you could wake up, 10, 15 years and realize like, well, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? I don't even like this. And that's kind of what happened to me.
Yeah.
Jeb said, I agree, Mike, but you acquired some real skills during the process that you are using in this community. Oh, thanks, Jeb. Yeah, that's something I should really, I really need to say too. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it's like I did learn a lot of skills, and I'm grateful for that experience. I'm grateful for the socialization experience. I feel like that's one of the most important parts about, I don't know, school, college, high school, whatever type of school, is learning how to deal with your peers. And I don't want to say deal with them like, oh, I gotta, like, everybody's a fucking asshole, but I mean, like, learning how to, well, I didn't want to say that, but be a complete curmudgeon. But well, I agree. But like, you know, that's one of the things, you know, they throw you in a dorm room with somebody that you don't even know, that you need to figure out how to get along with that person, you know?
Well, 2/3 of the world is a dickhead. Just get used to that fact. Like, and as you grow up, you'll sort through it and you'll find like the people that you jive with, and you'll figure out who the true, you know, Peckerwoods are, and you know, you'll be fine.
Yeah. But that's a good point though, Jeb. And that, I think that's kind of speaks to what Jay is saying too. It's like you learn these real world skills and the anthropological side of dealing with people, you know, and like you said, like from my degree, I did learn how to write really well, both technically and creatively. And I feel like that goes on to everything I do creatively, because it's coming down to songwriting, thinking about writing songs, composing songs, all the videos here on the channel, you know, videos I've done in the past with Sean's company, all that stuff. Is writing and communicating is such an important part of, you know, being a human. So I feel like that is what gives me a little bit of an advantage when it comes to all the YouTube videos and YouTube stuff. Is like, I don't know, like I've had a clear idea of, I don't know, scripting and story writing, and I should, you know, that's what I studied for a while. But yeah, you gotta say like everything is leading up to where you are now.
And there's one thing they'll never teach you in any school or any curriculum, and that's how to go with the flow. So the sooner you can learn to do that, the better off your adult life will be. So yeah.
I would guess the most of us didn't know what we want to do between 18 to 25. Your brain is still developing. It's supposed to be this glory time, but the reality is it's a hard time for most. That's Jim. Yeah. I'd say there's,
I don't know, since I was 10 or 11, I've wanted to play music, and that's continued. And at 13, I started building fucking pedals, and that in a roundabout way has continued. So I don't know.
What do you mean go with the flow? I think that I'm curious too. Will's asking, what do you mean by that? Can you be more specific? We're also talking about a 424 politics party. That's the
oh man.
Wow, you guys like time travelers? Because
what do I mean go with the flow? What I mean by go with the flow is that like life is like an ocean. Sometimes it's placid and chill, and sometimes it's super bumpy and cruel. And the sooner you sort of get in touch with who you are and learn how to roll with those punches, and you know how to relax on that placid part of the ocean, the better your life will be.
Yeah, it's a lot of ups and downs, and knowing that the ups are coming and the downs are going to come.
And the sooner you learn to stand back a bit and not live your life as a reactionary, the easier it will be. Yeah. Not everything can be a panic and a 4-alarm fire, and not everything can be you just, you know, nodding off on the couch with your thumb up your ass. Like, you know, it requires a balance of action and relaxation, the whole thing. And the sooner you learn how to
work-life balance,
ride the waves, well, yeah, some of it. Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to start a political party, I'm game.
Oh man.
I kind of stay away from politics though. Both of you guys do what you say you're going to do. You stick to a schedule, you plan. Those are real life skills.
I'm late always, though. I will say that I'm always late, and I don't mean it to be disrespectful. I just always am.
I gotta say that too. Like, YouTube is something that really taught me to do that. Like, having done the channel for about a year now, it's like sticking to that schedule, saying you're going to do something, and every Friday for a while, coming out with that video and saying 3 p.m. no matter what, you got to put something up.
What always happens to me is I'll go to leave, and then 75 things will happen from the time I go to leave to the time I arrive at where it is that I'm supposed to be.
Gotta just shut the phone off, I guess.
It's not even just the phone. Like tonight, man, like the cat was in the car. I
Yeah.
can't plan for that. Left the window down at my friend's house. I stopped to drop off a Marshall solid state head that I repaired, and his cat got in the car and then didn't want to get out of the car.
I should have brought him over. I could have hung out with Capro.
Actually, it's a good thing he made a sound because I wouldn't even known he was in there. But you know, would have had a second cat, which I mean that's cool. But yeah, so I don't know.
Thanks for your positivity, Jeb. That's cool, man. It's hard to always celebrate the victories, you know, because that is definitely sticking to some kind of a schedule is definitely a victory. And
I also think it's important to say that, like, don't be afraid of life. Grab it by the face and, like, you know, flip it around and give it to a heart on the couch because, like, it's your life and you only get one. You know?
Make sure you do something you want to do today.
Yeah, and do it the way you want to do it. Anything you want to do, do it. Got any cigarettes? Regular or menthol? Have I played you that yet?
No.
That's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like what the live action movie or the
yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. Hey, smoke up, Johnny. You know that's from, right?
No, check this out.
I don't know.
Oh shit, playing bass and shit. This is my favorite line in this whole movie.
Check it out, man. Anything you guys want, we got. Anything you want to do,
Do it.
do it. You know what I'm saying? Anything. You got any cigarettes? Regular or menthol?
I love it.
That's crazy. We should like that.
I love it. I'm gonna right now.
Oh yeah, you can throw it in there. Yeah. From what year did that come out? The live action.
I don't even know. Like, yeah.
What year did that come out? The live action. I don't even know. Like,
That was weird.
90 something. I don't even know.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, check that out. That's some. Well, what is? Wait a minute. What did I just knock life the fuck up? Yeah.
What did you just quit, Andrew? Oh, smoking, probably. Much love to the TascFam.
Yeah. But yeah. Matt talking about the morning after pill for men.
I feel like, is that a real thing? I kind of heard something about
I heard
that.
something about that. I don't know what the deal is. Look.
Uh-oh. The smiling zombie hunter. Would you classify a hot dog as a sandwich? So just we got a warning to all the mods out there, just so you guys know. We'll see where that one goes, but that seems a little
Classify a hot dog as a sandwich. I'm not totally sure.
I don't know. I guess it depends.
I never really thought about it.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. I think that was
Oh, got him already.
Got him already.
Damn. I wanted to see what his response was, though.
Well, if he hangs out for 5 minutes, he can tell us. But
yeah.
I feel like that was where that was going. So thanks, Matt.
Oh, man.
Good job, guys.
So, Andrew, did you just quit smoking? Is that what you're saying?
I think, yeah.
Man, how the hell do you do that? Of all the things I learned how to do in my life,
about, man. We were talking about for you. You gotta. You were like, yeah, I don't know. I should probably just quit completely.
Nah.
You don't think you will?
I don't know about that. Nah, probably not. I think smoking will quit me long before I quit smoking.
Oh no. Hot dog culture.
Oh man.
I was gonna.
Man.
It seemed like it could have gone either way, and since he's not part of the task, if one of the TascFam had said that, I don't know. I think it would have been okay, but you know,
I'm just not sure where he was going. I mean,
yeah,
that could have been like a legitimate question, like,
But it's also
Probably
like
not, but maybe.
the live stream is live recording Q&A, so it's not like that was somebody we knew.
I don't know. I think we spent like the last probably half hour
That's
talking
true.
about non-recording
That's
Q&A.
true. But to have a completely left field question like that
But
seems a little.
Since recording and music is life for most of the people that are following along at home, then talking about real life shit is all one and the same.
I mean, it's all. I mean, that's kind of where I've been going. I feel like with the latest videos, the more vlog type videos, and it's all everything in life is related to everything else. And I don't know. I'm constantly finding parallels between, I don't know, any type of creativity or just any kind of day-to-day thing with, putting that toward using the knowledge from anything to what you really want to do.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Like I read a lot of business stuff, and that's like not something I've ever really been into, but you can relate a lot of business tips and tactics to being in a band, because it's a lot like the same kind of deals, like managing personalities.
But let me give you a little piece of something on that. So from around the time you're born, you're given a social security number.
Okay.
So each one of us, as soon as we have that social security number, is a business entity, right? You will pay taxes based on that number. You will collect and exchange money based on that number as your numerical identity, right? So like life is business is life. It's all one thing, So yeah, that's my piece on that, but I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people, that's interesting. I never considered that.
Yeah, I mean, from,
I guess what I'm saying
that's
is like
where taxes come in.
Business stuff like, I don't know. Just about like managing people, I guess more in terms of like running a business, but I guess that's if you are technically a business entity, I guess your life is running a business.
Yeah, it is. But when it comes to actually like managing employees or being in charge of people or whatever it is, common sense applies. Treat people the way you would expect to be treated, be as fair and, steadfast as possible in your decisions, and but also don't show weakness, because as soon as they find a weak spot, they'll exploit you. But
so wait, we have more information coming in about the sandwich question. Will says a sandwich is 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between. Therefore, is it a sandwich? I think it's a sandwich.
I think it's a fucking hot dog. Why does it have to be defined any further than that?
Well, then is a hamburger a sandwich? I guess it is. It must be.
No, it's a hamburger.
But under that definition, 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between, pretty much anything that's in.
I guess technically it's a sandwich, but if I think. All right, so let me pose this question then.
The hamburger sandwich.
Hold on though. A hot dog. So if a hot dog is a sandwich, it's a roll filled with meat, right?
Yeah. 2 or more slices of bread with a filling in between.
Except a hot dog roll is not 2 or more slices of bread. It's one slice of bread either bent or it's pre-shaped that way. So if that theoretically is a sandwich, if I go to Panera and order a French onion soup in a sourdough bread bowl, is that technically a sandwich?
No, that's not a sandwich. Wait.
Yes, it is.
I guess
because it's a roll filled with something.
Right.
So is that a sandwich?
But is it 2 or more slices of bread?
But the hot dog roll is not 2 or more slices of bread.
So it's one, but it says a split roll.
It's one U-shaped.
Well, it says 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll.
Right. So the split roll filled with French onion soup.
I guess it's a sandwich. I mean, under that definition, yeah.
It's a French onion sandwich.
French onion sandwich.
Or it could just be a French onion soup and sourdough bread bowl, and a hot dog is still just
I mean,
hot dog.
that's a pretty vague definition. 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling. Yeah. A sourdough bread bowl with soup in it would be considered a sandwich under that definition.
It would. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah.
What do you guys think?
Oh man, is a ravioli a sandwich? A ravioli and then a wonton would technically be a sandwich, also, I guess.
I almost feel bad for Smiling Zombie Hunter for being timed out. Maybe, maybe
totally
they'll come back.
So does that mean it's taco is technically a sandwich also?
Oh, the Smiling Zombie Hunter is back from timeout. Mamma mia, my jokes are too salty.
New soup sandwich range. Oh, I'd go for it. Why not?
Wait, so
taco is a wrap, but what if it's on a hard shell? It doesn't close.
It's a split
A
roll.
burrito is a wrap, but I don't think a taco is a wrap.
Is water wet? That's a good one.
I think we're way the fuck off topic here.
Yeah.
So Smiling Zombie Hunter, you got timed out before we could fully deduce whether your question was legitimate or not. So where were we going with the is a hot dog a sandwich exactly?
Oh, we actually had a question from Easy63.
Okay.
Thoughts about the various iterations of the Porta Studio family. So you have a few Porta. Jay has actually Porta 02, 414, and a 424. At your disposal.
424.
Oh, last week we had it. Yeah.
I shipped it back.
And I have 414 and 424, and I have used a Porta 02. I think many of the ones in that range are pretty dope.
Yeah,
depends like what you're looking to do, like feature wise, but they all pretty much do the same thing.
Well, like the Porta 02 is sort of baseline, you know.
You can't now with the Porta 02 though.
2 tracks at a time,
right?
And
so it's a little more limited.
The tape speed is much slower than the other machines, as I understand from the technical documents. It runs at 1 7/8, I think, or some shit like that. It's really slow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what I've read anyway. I don't know. I might have to double check that info, but
no, I think you're right. It has a different, because there was some question recently too in an email about switching tapes, I think, back and forth between machines and like not having the same playback.
Well, some of them don't. That's the thing.
That's interesting.
So if you recorded on the Porta 02, let's say it's at that 1 7/8 tape speed IPS, and you put it in a machine that's playing, I don't know, faster than that, it's going to sound fucked up, and you'll never pitch correct it enough to make it sound right.
So various iterations of the Porta Studio family then. I mean, 424 is obviously the channel base.
Porta 02 is 1 speed. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're different. Oh man, that actually makes a lot of sense.
What do you guys think is the ultimate Porta Studio?
I gotta go 424.
Yeah, I mean, features wise, I
haven't used all of them though. But
I think the 424 is the.
I mean, 424 Mark III. I mean, that's my baby. You know, that's the. Matt just sent us another one. Thank you again, Matt. I think that's the pinnacle of the 4-track fam. You know, the 424 is also really awesome, but it lacks the XLR inputs of the Mark II and the Mark III. I would say get a 424. Or 414s are cool too, but if it was up to me, if I had those 3 in a lineup, I would definitely take a 424.
I actually think if I had the option, I would go way back to the Porta Studio 246.
Yeah.
That's a fucking pretty cool looking machine.
Yeah, that's one I never had. I really liked it.
I never had it either. I'm just looking at the whole range to see which ones I've messed with.
If anybody's got a 246 out there, let us please weigh in and let us know.
So the first iteration was a 144 in 79.
Mark III, bro.
Then the 244 in 82. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. But
Mark II is good too.
Yeah, I would say probably for the money, I would not go any lower than 414 anyway. I mean, it's
that's what I'm split on, a 246 or a 424 Mark III. I want to say that the 246 has, I've heard that it has more repair issues, or it has more I guess issues in general, but
which one?
The 246?
Well, the 246 is also like almost 20 years older than the 424
is. Oh,
wow,
really?
Well, it debuted in 79, it says.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
that's crazy. Okay, so that makes sense then.
Or maybe it was 82.
I think the 424 is like definitely 90s. I think they sold them up until like the early 2000s.
Sorry, so it was the 244 that came out in 82. So the 246 had to be 83, 84.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's coming around on a 35-year-old machine. That's a long time to have one in operation that doesn't break down.
Yeah, I feel like the 6088 that's being passed around too, it's a cool machine. It's just so feature laden though. And I've seen some people do some things with it. Landon, I think, over on Magic Spiral, It's another channel I follow. I think he was selling his 688 at one point.
Well, honestly, the 688 is fucking ridiculous.
That's with like the MIDI, right? Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's just like, it's an 8-track. It's just too much.
First off, you're stuffing 8 tracks onto a cassette.
Yeah.
Which is already
like proprietary technology.
Which is already like, what are you doing? And then
it's like MIDI, like it has like really crazy MIDI
functionality. And it's got, looks like 12 tracks, 12 channels on the mixer. I mean, yeah, that's really a lot, man. And I don't think 8 tracks to a cassette tape really seems like a smart idea.
Right. Yeah. That's why I've never messed with the 8-track ones.
I don't know.
I think you're best off sticking with something in the 424 vintage, or I mean, the 246 could be cool too if you find one in good shape. So,
but I think if you really need more than 4 tracks and the bounce function in a 424 doesn't do it for you, you should look at a DAW and figure out how to work between the two.
Or if you want to go, that's something I've been wanting to experiment with the channel. I've never really gotten it. I've used the, I think it's like a 2488 Neo. It's like a one of the digital Porta Studios.
Yeah.
And that's something that TascFam still is.
Yeah, they make up to 32 track now.
Right. So that's something I've been wanting to experiment with.
32.
So I know a couple of you guys have the digital Porta Studios. So if anybody can weigh in on what their thoughts on those are, I'd like to get my hands on one of them. Actually, KnobCon has some kind of, last year they had some kind of like, they were sending those around with people to make some recordings with. So that's where we're heading in September. So tentatively right now, but it seems like it's going to happen. But yeah, so I'm curious to get my hands on maybe the DP, what is it, 08 or something? And there's a few other ones.
8-track one, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
The music store in my town actually has the 08, and they have this, whatever the 16-channel one is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like.
They're small.
Yeah, they're like this big now. They fit just about in your pocket.
Yeah, I'd be curious to check those out. I'd also be curious to see what the functionality is of iPad recording, because at one point I was looking into that a few years ago, and I don't think the technology was there yet, but I know that they're coming out with a new iPad that probably has some kind of app that's like a TascFam app. I'm just curious in terms of like, how does that even work? I can see iPads for like day-to-day recording, but apparently a lot of people use them as control surfaces.
Yeah, they do, but this is going to be the problem when you're trying to track anything with an iPad. The interface, plug, port, whatever, is going to be limited, right? Unless
well, I guess they've been making stuff that works through Lightning.
Through Lightning?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Through the iPhone charging, the Lightning port. That's the.
I got you. Yeah, but how many?
We got some low battery action. I got to grab the.
Okay. But how many tracks can you actually get in and through that?
I don't know, but they make like interfaces that you can hook up to iPad. They were making them like at some point. I don't know. I was.
I mean, when iPhone technology started catching up with the independent recording industry, we had like the iRig and all that shit. You could plug your guitar into your phone and all that bullshit. But
I'm talking like using your
basically
how you're using like a laptop.
I understand.
Using the iPad
as that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense, but
I don't know. I don't think I would go much smaller than a laptop for anything I really needed processing power for.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to give this thing another shout out. So basically this is an old charger that I had for my laptop, my old laptop from 2009. Turns out these chargers are the same ones for the newer laptops. And all you need to do is grab this little guy. It's a little adapter. Changes it from like a 5-pin or 4-pin to a 5-pin. So rather than spending another $80 or whatever Apple charges ludicrously for these things, you can just get this piece. I think it was like $10, but this is one of the best things I feel like I invested in recent memory. Just a little adapter hooks onto that guy to hook up to your computer. So if you're looking for a new power adapter for a newer Mac and you had an older Mac, check out the adapter.
So going into what Will's talking about, this guy Steve Lacy in LA records all this shit straight to iPhone.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, there's no reason you couldn't do that. I mean, we just made a music video where all the B-roll was recorded with Android and Apple phones, so it's sort of like,
Well, yeah, that's what's funny is like
you can get away with a lot of shit when it comes to modern media, and especially if you're playing with things that are sort of like lo-fi, either looking or sounding to begin with.
Right. Yeah. Depending on the quality, it's like,
Sure.
I know Casey Neistat. He's like the famous YouTube vlogger. I started watching a couple of his things, and he recently did a video about some kind of telescoping lens. It's like a lens kit for iPhone, $35. He compared it to his $7,000 setup, and I gotta say, like, unless you're that dude and have the money to get something that crazy, I mean, you might as well get the $35 lens kit unless you want to get like a better lens, but.
Easy is saying
It didn't look like whatever 100 times better, you know.
Easy is saying they use their iPad with a USB interface to go in and out of a 388.
Whoa, that's cool.
Effects. Yeah, that's fucking killer.
Oh wait, that's right, Andrew.
But Easy, what's the? I mean, what kind of latency are you talking about? Open loop, like, is it adding all kinds of pre-delay to your effects? Is there all kinds of buffering issues with the memory speed, the FSB speed in the iPad, or how does it work in real time?
And Andrew, there was a movie recently shot on iPhone, Unsane, I believe. It's
I'm with John on that. A good idea is a good idea, right? Boombox, iPhone, whatever you can use.
Yeah, that's exactly Neistat's point too. It's like it's all about the story, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a tenet of the channel as well. You know, it's something we talk about a lot with 4-track recording. And I know a big reason why a lot of the TascFam likes 4-track recording. It boils you down to the nuts and bolts of your idea and makes your song better because it's all about the song idea. It's not about millions of plugins, the DAW, the screen. Yeah. It's just about what it sounds like, what you need to make it sound the best you can get it in the limited amount of space that you got.
The entire world is a plugin.
That's a good way to put it.
No, it is. Think about it. All the weird shit you got sitting around, every time you hook that up to something and try to use it to record, you're plugging it in somehow. Right?
Right.
It's either an effect or it's a modeler for something, whatever. So, yeah.
That's a good point.
If it's good, it ain't wrong. I agree with that totally.
If it sounds good, it is good. It's all subjective too, you know.
Twin said, I wonder if through some weird loophole in iPhone TOS, if Apple owns the music you record with the phone. Man, I sure hope not, because that's
somebody better read through the TOS.
That's fucking budget.
Because I never read any of that stuff. I don't know. I feel like if you actually read that stuff and disagree with it, then you couldn't use pretty much any Apple products. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Urgency of the 4-track. Oh, cool, Jim. Yeah, for sure.
Stormy Daniels a plugin. You could plug into Stormy Daniels. I mean, everything has a price. But
oh boy,
that's a whole other thing.
But yeah, I think there was what's that guy's name? Saad. He's a director. Sondheim. Stephen Sondheim. He basically said he's like a famous, or like a well-known movie director, and he's putting all his chips into iPhone directing. That's all he's going to use from now on is an iPhone. And there's like pictures of him like sitting in the director's like throne or sitting in the director's seat with the camera. You know how they have the shots of the guy in the camera chair like moving up on stuff. And it's not like a huge camera like you see in the old days. It's literally an iPhone.
Yeah.
And they shot the whole movie apparently on.
Why not?
It's and that's
why the hell not?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think that they're using some kind of different lens kits on it, but that's really what it comes down. I mean, well, that was the whole thing with the music video, you know.
The hardware's the same.
Your guys' phones are HD, but you wanted to get the lens quality.
Well, we used the VHS app for most of it.
Right, but I mean, like in terms of like the actual video, we could have just used like a phone, the best phone we had.
Sure. Well, I played you that thing that we did with Flourish, right, where everybody's cell phone recorded their performances.
That sounds great, man.
I mean, that's so to expand upon that for the people who are out there watching. I was in a band and we did an EP of some songs live, but each person in the band took their cell phone and put it close to their respective instrument, and then at the end of the whole thing, everybody emailed me the track files.
So
we lined them up in Logic and made a mix out of it, and it was released as an EP.
Sounds great, man.
I think it's actually on Bandcamp.
Well, I guess this comes down to it then is like, I don't know, should we all just use our iPhones then? Like, I don't know. You know, it's an interesting question. Or is it just overkill for us to have all this older equipment and mixing through huge speakers and, you know, not huge speakers, but like, you know, well, yeah, you know, I don't know where that stands then. It's like, you know, should we just be creating our music and writing songs and recording them like that and really releasing them? I don't know. It's a really good question. Easy E said that it's not phase accurate.
I think Stormy Daniels is what he was meaning.
Oh, okay. I've been having issues with videos of people listing top 10 worst pedals. I immediately think of the HM2 Swedish death metal. Is that the Boss? What, Andrew? Actually, that's a problem. I've been having issues with videos of people listing top 10 worst pedals.
So I'm going to link that thing with the cell phones, just so you guys can hear it. It's a fucking mess, but it was fun.
Yeah, I agree. First takes you have the best energy. The coupe. And think if I can get to where I can write and record a song inside of an hour, it would be so much better. Just capturing. Yeah, I mean that's the whole Dylan thing, you know. It was just capturing lightning in a bottle. I heard somebody say recently that a reason why he can never play the songs live is because the songs were recorded very quickly, and each time he plays them differently, or that's why he's changing up lyrics.
I think the reason he can't play them live is because he's been fucking shot since like 1959.
I think that's an interesting theory though, as to why, like, you know, his stuff is the way it is, and how he's put out so many albums as well. I mean, for somebody who was recording in that era, obviously he's like one of the most famous musicians of the era, but like
what's amazing
he's got an insane discography for somebody from, I mean, he's been around for a while.
But in all that time, he never learned how to fucking sing.
That's his thing, man. Have you ever heard Nashville Skyline? That's a good album. Yeah. He actually sings on that one.
Does he? Like, no,
he actually sings on that one.
I
would play some on here, but it'll get flagged.
Yeah, well.
Check out Nashville Skyline.
John Pittman, here we go. Nope.
Here we go.
I actually was at the show last week. I was singing Wagon Wheel with the kid in my best Dylan impersonation in the street. Yeah.
Is that Slide in the Family Stone?
Where?
John Pittman's the reference, Hit of Inspiration.
Why am I not seeing that?
He says no subtle reference intended, but sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. You can get a lot of inspiration from physical equipment. Yeah, I agree, Will. Or hardware sense. Yeah. That's something about the physicality. That's why I wanted to get the Digitakt. I've been using that a lot this week. That's another thing I've been wanting to work on this month was the Digitakt compositions that I've been coming up with, because for a while that thing was just collecting dust, and I was like, Jesus, what did I get this thing for if it's just going to be collecting dust? But something weird happened with it. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, Jay, but I had to update some of the firmware for this thing, and it was like,
for what thing?
Oh, the Digitakt, like they're constantly updating like the onboard firmware, and even the Minotaur too had a new update recently. And
well, the Digitakt, I'm betting they probably have to update the firmware constantly because they shipped it with bugs.
Well, yeah, it's like, because it has basically like a mini operating system that they developed on there, so it's like, you know, anything you make, even down to like a simple website, can have like, you know, bugs or too many features. I mean, they're trying. It's constantly be a case of being updated. I mean, it's like Fortnite too, the most famous video game in history probably now. It's like they're constantly, you know, updating it and sending out new firmware, and then it changes something. But what happened was I had a bunch of stuff MIDI'd out in my from the Digitakt to the Minotaur, and it changed all of the node information. So like all the Minotaur stuff was like in a totally different key.
This is why I hate MIDI, just so you know. Yeah,
so that was a little bit of a bug, but I finally went through it, and it was mainly just, a lot of it was just octave stuff, but it was a little annoying, but I figured it all out. But so I've also been making a lot of sample packs for the Digitakt, so keep an eye out for those.
Easy S said good quality audio is sacrificed. Good audio quality is sacrificed these days. No one buys good stereo equipment. It's all iPhones and earbuds. Yeah, which is why it's important to reference shitty speakers and watch your low end content and make sure your mixes all work in mono for you recordists out there. Because if it doesn't sound good coming off a cell phone, nobody's going to bother fucking downloading it to even bother listening to it on their earbuds. So, yeah. Matt, I always hear recordists mentioning their workflow. What's up with that? Advantages versus disadvantages of having a specific workflow. I'm not a stickler about workflow. I have certain processes that sort of have to go in order, but we all do as recordists. It's good to sort of have a routine and like a a regimen when it goes to, or when it comes to doing sessions. But if you're too rigid about it, you make it difficult for the artist. So make sure that whatever your established workflow is works organically with whoever it is that you're trying to work with, alongside, whatever, as a client.
Where is that? I don't even see that one. Is that back up?
No, it's right at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Jay, what up with that? We gotta do like I think we need to do either like a monthly or a weekly video.
Hashtag Jay, what up with that?
Hashtag Jay, what up with that, man? That could be your channel, dude.
So, I mean, advantages to having a specific workflow is that you can get things done on a predictable timetable. Disadvantages would be that if you try too hard to stick to a specific timetable and maintain a specific workflow, you'll lose some of the organic vibe of the creative process, and you'll also alienate your artists. So, yeah, that's what I would think.
But I think I think figuring out a workflow is never a bad idea, though. Like in terms of the videos, like saying there's a deadline of 3 p.m. on Fridays to get it done. Like that, maybe develop a specific type of workflow to get something fucking done.
If you're working by yourself, though. If you're working with other people, they become the wild card. So your workflow has to change and adapt. So my workflow in the studio with like a new client would be like, we arrange the time, so everybody shows up at that time. You
kind of meet them prior to, right?
I try to always make sure that I know them.
At least get an idea of the personalities that you got to manage.
Well, I like to go to band practices. I like to know what the band sounds like. I like to know what the chemistry looks like when they're doing things, because I can figure out who needs to record live with the other or whatever. I like to get a sense of the individual's energy, not playing wise, but as far as their personal energies go. If you have ones that are super in your face, or ones who are super like timid and laid back, then those people have to be accounted for.
So I mean, that's like a very stringent part of your workflow. I mean, that makes sense. That is like a prerequisite.
Well, I mean, it's not, but it's not mandatory. I mean, you can't always meet with every single person you're going to record. If they're flying from across the country to record with you, like,
right,
you have to try to make those, connections via messages and emails, and by looking at the things that they post and how they talk to people in their videos and things.
Yeah, it's a different ball game, right?
It is. But, so I try to get the sense of all that stuff. I try to get a sense also of what each person's influence is, because that's going to dictate a lot about what they want to hear from their recording. If the guitar player listens to, like somebody said before, like, Swedish death metal or black metal or whatever, and like the bass player is into Sublime, and the drummer only listens to Rush, then you got to figure out it way ahead of time, like how it is that you're going to approach trying to make those things work together to appease everybody involved. But
so now what about somebody like we always reference Mr. Albini, but he clearly has a way of going about something. Is it more of you need to fit into his workflow, do you think? Or
Albini applies himself in the holes. He brings the band in, he talks to the band, he lets the band set up, he listens to the band, he mics it based on what it is that he wants to hear, and then he records it in whatever way the band is comfortable, and he mixes it the way he wants to hear it, and he adjusts it to make the band happy. So he really is just filling in the the holes in the story.
Right.
It's not a workflow as much as it is a sort of organic process. Yeah, at least is the way I see it. I mean, he might look at it totally different. Who the fuck knows?
Well, I was just curious. Like, I don't know. I feel like people have some people must have, people who record have some sort of a workflow or some sort of pattern that they use, you know. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just confusing our terms that we're talking about, but like,
I don't know. To me, workflow is everything between point A and point B.
Right. So like obviously certain people hire certain engineers for their workflow.
No, they hire certain engineers for their outcome.
But isn't that like a direct result of everything between A and B?
It is, but that's not what most people are looking for when they're ordering in a producer or you know, shopping for an engineer or a studio. You know, you know how it works as an engineer. You're basically selling your ass based on your recordings.
Right.
You know, this is the last thing I recorded. Check this band out. Do you like it? Okay, cool. I can make your band kind of do that too.
Right.
You know, it's not.
Yeah, I guess like I'm thinking like somebody like Sean, you know, like
I have never booked a session based on like, you know, my timeliness on getting you set up and getting you mic'd, and you know, it's just that's not part of the sales pitch. Like, you know,
I guess like I'm just thinking people like Sean or Hapro that I like have some kind of relationship with, but that's also people I record. Like a big reason Sean records with me is because it's like how we do the music video. We just have this synergy that's like we're both on the same page, everybody's on the same page. Sure. It's like, you know, and when we get into the same room, it's going to be business, 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 and that's how we want to do it. And time, the earth, the sun and the moon can go around the earth however many times it wants, but we're just going to be locked in that room, but doing our thing.
Let me give you a couple for examples when it comes to like the way that I work in the studio. So using the same processes, I've been accused of being both a militant drill sergeant and also as being one of the most laid back sessions somebody's ever been a part of.
Right.
And I work pretty much the same way end to end all the time.
Pretty big dichotomy. Yeah.
So, you know, I mean.
Right. Well, then, so I guess then it would be, you got to play it by ear.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, make sure though, through the process of whatever your workflow happens to be, that everybody's comfortable, not just you and not just the artist. Make sure you're splitting the difference and making everybody
yeah, I mean, that's what it really comes down to. You know, yeah, I mean, that's a big part of the Mixer Man. I don't know if you ever give me that book. I should let you borrow that if you haven't. The Mixer Man recording book.
Yeah.
It's all about, like, that's a huge tenet of it, is like, you know, setting up the space for that somebody's comfortable. Like, that's really what you get the best takes out of.
I mean, look at it this way, right? It's like nobody is creative to the fullest extent if they're operating from a place of like mental duress, right? Yeah. Like if you're,
well, I think that's what we always talk about too, is like performing live, like when you can get into that kind of like lose yourself in it, or, you know, it's almost like a meditative state. Like it's going to be hard to get into that state if, you know, someone's coming down on you, or if you're in like a fucked up mental state, or if you're uncomfortable in a location or a room. That's going to directly be funneled down into whatever you record.
Yeah. I see John said, love Albini. People seem to have consistently wanted to do redo vocals on his recordings. So it does seem like he has kind of producer quality. Yeah, I mean, I think as much as all of us like to think that we're not necessarily producers, but engineers trying to serve the band, it's really hard to, in some regard, not apply some of your personal aesthetic to anything. I mean, you know, you can be as clinical and as hands-off as you want, but at the end of it, like, the tones you got based on your ears, so they're still based on your aesthetic. It doesn't, you know, all of that shapes the way a project sounds at the end, regardless of how, you know, transparent or whatever you try to be in the process. It's not entirely possible. Even like mic selections, like a mic selection will dictate a lot about what the source sounds like on tape or you know, on CD in the final product or whatever. And he, as the engineer, is making that production decision. He's picking that microphone based on what he thinks it'll sound like on that source. So even things like that are really production moves. Albini is not a producer in the sense of like the modern producer where he's writing beats and or even in traditional sense, you know, he's not doing arrangements with the band. He's not writing string parts and like, you know,
right,
adding, you know, drum breaks and rewriting songs with them. He is there to capture music. That is his job.
That's always been his thing, yeah.
So
that's like always the popular question. How come you didn't take royalties from the Nirvana stuff everywhere? It's like, because that's their music. Like, that's not my thing. I didn't, you know, all I did was, well, not all I did, but, you know, I recorded it. I didn't produce it. I didn't, you know, it's not my intellectual property. I was looking at some. Will asked, Mike, you got over your live stream addiction now. I remember you were going mad over it at the beginning. Yeah, I was really trying to figure out what live streaming was going to mean for the channel, and also just how to do it. I think the early ones I did with this camera, and we those were the pre-J days, and I was
certainly were
doing it every day because I really wanted to get better at it. And,
what up, Giant Tree?
Hey, Giant Tree. And just, you know, I don't know, a big part of it for me is like mastery through repetition. So, you know, by doing it every day, I was like 10xing my ability to get better at it, get better at talking. You know, it's easier here when Jay is here, obviously, because we can each of us talk for a second, then recollect yourself. But when you're doing a solo, it's like, I always think of Mark Maron from WTF, you know, like he's able to just riff by himself. And if you listen to that podcast, it's like pretty interesting for most of what he's saying. And that's like a definite skill. It's like a radio host, you know, you have to always be constantly saying something and, you know, bringing something into the mix, or like even now I'm just like riffing off of what we're talking about, you know. It's like, this was a skill I developed by live streaming though. Like I couldn't do this, you know, before when I wasn't going mad with live streaming, because quite frankly, I hadn't practiced enough. But now that we've been doing it, I think this is live stream 34 plus however many the other ones we've done, Coffee with Mike, and there was some other one we were doing at one point. But, you know, yeah, so that was like a big part of that. And I don't know, that's another, since we're talking about life advice, mastery through repetition.
Yeah. So where are we at?
J-Raz saying, I agree, certain workflow can strip your creativity.
Yeah, I think you just have to be really careful. You know, it's like walking on eggshells, I think, sometimes in the studio, to like, you can't compromise the artist's vision or their sort of internal timeline, but you also have to, in some way, don't be a groupie, keep it moving. You got to keep the process fucking rolling, or you'll be there.
It has to get done
forever.
At some point.
I mean, you know, like a lot of these people think like, you know, oh, I'll just book another day. Well, that's cool until we go to book another day because you were dragging ass for the whole 2 weeks that you were there or whatever. But like, you know, realize that you got to pay for that. And if you had maybe been a little bit more forward thinking before you came in for the session and kind of knew what you wanted to do and had all your shit worked out, we could have knocked it out before you even used up all the time you had blocked out. And we could have done some fancier shit when it came to like post-production and, you know, playing with effects and printing stuff into different environments. So it really, like, you know, you have to strike whatever that balance is. And you also have to realize, I think, when you're pushing your client a little too hard or trying to sway them too hard into your, you know, your workflow, if you will. You know, I've done that before, certainly, because I can't stand people who waste my time or who waste their time on my time.
That's really noble of you, man, because I feel like a lot of people would just get out the can and milk them.
Nah, that's not really worth it to me. I mean, I have other things.
More aggravating, right?
Well, I have things that I could be doing that.
I've seen that happen,
you
man, in places I've been, and you know, places I've been sitting in, and it's like,
I mean, if you,
it's terrible, man.
If you come to me and like your band hasn't rehearsed its songs and you're learning the songs in the studio, like,
tell them to go home.
I'm cool with that, but like, I'm going on dinner break until you're figured out what the fucking songs are and how they go, because it's just gonna piss me off to sit there and watch you do that. Because if it were me and I was coming to me to record with my band, we would have that shit as tight as I could get it.
And like, that's been my experience when we recorded. That was the first time we met, actually.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the same thing with music video, man. It was like you guys had all the B-roll.
Yeah,
we knew what we were gonna do, and it was like
there's a time for fucking around and joking and laughing, and then there's a time for not fucking around.
Getting shit done.
When I'm there to make something or to help somebody else make something, like I try to keep things jovial and fun and make sure that everybody's supplied with their eans and their foods and, you know,
libations,
whatever it is that they need. But, you know, there is a point in time in the session where shit boils down to brass tacks and you really need to fucking get a move on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can't, I don't know.
No, man, I think
there's other things you could be doing with your time.
That's like Sean and Hapro, like saying, keep circling back to those guys with it. And that's like a reason I enjoy working with you, not even on recording, but on all the things that we work on together, is because we both have that kind of like, not go mentality, but it's like, we know when it's time to like chill and lay back and have fun, but then we know when it's like, we gotta get this done. And you know, it's synergy. And if you don't have, that's the important thing to have.
Well, I mean, I had an artist in over the winter that, you know, through the grapevine sort of accused me of being, like I said, sort of like drill sergeant militant or whatever. And like,
really?
Yeah. And that sort of blew my mind, because like, you know, my process for that client was to not only do like all the research about them and to try to like make sure that I was equipped in a lot of different ways for what the session was going to be. But, you know, like, I did everything I could during those sessions to keep these sessions on track, so that we would maximize the output given the distance that they had to travel to make those recordings. And, you know, in the end, I pretty much just got shit on for it, even though we made a 15-song record in 2 weeks, mixed, mastered, and out the fucking door. You know, so even though
that's like more than a song a day.
Yeah. I mean, I think what blew their mind was that, like, I kind of like to work in a linear fashion. So I would like to get at least rough basics down for everything in the first days, you know, so that we know what the fuck it is that we're actually working on, so that we can figure out what the goal is.
Right.
You know, and
that wasn't determined before the session, though?
No, we didn't know what the track count was before the session. Oh, wow. We didn't know until the notebook came out of the backpack at the session exactly even what songs were going down. You know, I'd gotten 2 demos forwarded for songs that didn't even end up on the record.
Weird.
So,
well, that's, I mean, I guess people like to work like that, though. Like, I don't know. I've never, I guess coming from, I don't know, more of punk background or just background of not having a lot of money, it's like when we used to go to the studio in any band I was in, it was how quickly can we get our material down? Yeah,
well, that's what I come
practice,
from
practice up until the day of it, to the point of like, we were recording on a Saturday, then guess what? Monday through Friday would be like an hour practice, 2-hour practice, making sure like each one of those songs was like, you know, we could go in there and take a two takes the maximum, take the best 2 or 3 takes, take the best take of the 3. But I don't know, man. I guess like, seems like other people work in the studio, write stuff in the studio, but like I don't know. I mean, well, if you have that ability to do that, it's awesome. But
these songs were written, and you know, the artist knew how to perform them, and as a solo artist, that part was easy. But you know, I shouldn't have to fight you to want to make your record, and like getting basics down is how every record is built. You don't go in and put in like the fucking harmonies and like, you know, the goddamn backup vibraphone parts out in space and then build the basics underneath that. Like, that's not how it's fucking done.
Unless the song is just that element.
Well, like, you know, if a rock band came in, I would be looking to put down the rhythm section first, right? Like, and most of us would, because that's the logical order of things to make it work.
Unless the foundation of the track, right?
Unless the drums are nothing but percussive things. If the drums are like a shaker hit here or there, or like some big floor tom roll build up thing, and that's the whole track, then that can go last. I don't care about that.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
But if the core of it is a rhythm section, traditional drums, bass, we need to make sure we got those within
you wouldn't track the vocals first.
No,
build it around.
I mean,
unless you're Van Morrison.
Unless you're making like those Walking Bombs records. We did a whole bunch of shit. I did a whole bunch of shit with Morgan like that, where he gave me.
Well, that was also you guys were discovering the songs as you were going though.
Well, yeah, I think they were sort of given life as
you guys weren't like
as they went down.
You guys weren't like writing stuff and then saying, okay, demo that one, that one's going.
Yeah.
It was more like, here's an idea, let's turn this into something. At least that was my understanding of the process.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it was taking little tiny fragments of rough ideas or, vocal things that he had written a melody for, and then building entire songs out of that somehow.
Cool.
Which is fine too. I mean, I'm cool with that as the workflow, if that like is how the project dictates we need to work. So yeah, I guess that is to my point about the workflow, is like there's no static workflow.
Right.
It has to evolve and change with the project. So I'm going to back up here a bit.
Yeah, we've been.
Andrew Ryerson said, hey, does anyone have tips on singing? I feel like an idiot every time I hear my recorded voice. Should I get a teacher? I also don't hate instrumental work.
Oh, snap. I got to just give a quick shout out. Alex Archambault, my bro-in-law, is chilling. What's up, Alex? Good to have you. He's chilling in the live stream.
So, Andrew, whether you can or can't sing is sort of immaterial. When it comes to hearing your voice recorded, all of us fucking hated that to start with, and most of us still do. So it's something you just sort of have to learn how to like look past.
Yeah, that's the truth.
To help you get used to it, try not soloing it. That'll help a lot. And the sooner you get over your distaste for your personal vocals, the sooner you'll learn how to, embrace it when it comes mix time, not bury it, let it be what it is, and let it breathe. So yeah, I mean, you could get a vocal coach if you really think it's that terrible, but I don't know, work with what you got.
And yeah, like what aspect of it don't you like? I'm just curious, like the sound of it, is it the notes that you're hitting, is it just like the inflection of how you're singing, or you just don't like your voice? I mean, that's pretty common. I would say just keep, like Jay was saying, just keep recording.
Yeah.
You'll get over it.
Said Nashville style, 6 songs in a day, overdubs and fixes. That's what I like. I like to get my basics done in the first 1 to 4 days. If we're making a full length, like your basics should be pretty much nailed down.
Yeah.
If they're not, somebody's not doing something right.
Right. Speaking of Nashville style, Travis, are you out there? We haven't seen Travis.
Haven't seen him yet. John Pittman. You've heard how I sing, EV, RE20, SM, 7B, or what should I get for vocals? About to look at an upgrade, something versatile and no nonsense, maybe 300 or less. If it were me, for that money, if the SM7B is on the table, I would go there. I have always been a fan of that mic. The RE20.
There's one in my living room.
Yeah, I've used the one in your living room.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's on the floor, not on the table.
Word. Have you taken a look-see at the output solder joints of the 424? I have not opened the 424 yet. But I did inspect it after the last live stream. And I just got a pretty tight new soldering iron, so I'm gonna take that one of these days and work
probably
it up.
Next week. I mean, unless we meet up before then, I don't know what your schedule's looking like, but things are hectic this month.
Things are hectic, like for the rest of the summer, especially with like this, with the Kickstarter thing. I'm trying to budget time to make sure all that happens.
The whole other thing is, once that ends, I think we have like 2 weeks to go. We're going to be making some pedals this summer, boys.
But easy. So, but there's a shitload of songs that were created in a studio that were with only the bare bones of an idea. Yeah. But if you can get those bare bones nailed down as basic tracks, then you can go into production mode and do all your overdubs and build it out. And I'm cool with that. But if you can't accomplish basic tracks, there's no point in even pursuing the project. It's just not a thing. You got to have the basics to be able to flesh anything out. I don't care. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, I guess I think that just comes back to what we were saying about workflow. Like some people, I don't know, I never had the luxury of being able to work completely in the studio. I would love to do that. And I know, like, I was referencing that Van Morrison album before. I think to get out of his record deal at one point, he just went in and recorded a bunch of songs, not to a click or anything. Just said, okay, here's 12 songs. and then they came back through and recorded all these additional tracks and instrumentation over them, and that's a cool, great album. So I mean,
So well said. What's your
look
thought
at
on the
those.
noise reduction for an 8-track reel-to-reel? If you can get the noise reduction unit with the 8-track when you buy it, go for it. I wouldn't necessarily spend tons of money on that. I'm not a big fan of noise reduction, but it has its place. Easy. So basically, you guys don't produce, you're just engineers. I don't really think about my role necessarily as production. My production part comes in mostly with post stuff, like manufacturing reverbs and reamping things in ambient spaces, and creating new sounds based on amps in the room and reamplification techniques and shit like that. I don't generally dig in with most projects to rewrite songs or write, additional parts or whatever, unless somebody asks me to. There are a couple bands that I work with routinely that, don't have a guitar player, so I'm the guitar player for that. I might end up playing percussion on things because I hear an idea that nobody else is hearing. But in a traditional sense, like, I'm not rewriting or arranging songs for bands that come in. That's not the role that I'm hired for.
Yeah. A lot of people don't come, especially for me. I mean, the engineering I do is fewer and far in between these days, but like,
and then
people aren't really hitting us up or hitting me up to do that kind of work. I mean, sometimes with Hapro, we do stuff like that. He's been helping me with some songs, I've been helping him with some songs, but like, a lot of people, I don't know, it might just be the music culture up here, but a lot of people just have their ideas, and they have that, and they want that recorded, and they're not interested in you doing any sort of production beyond engineering. I don't know.
So there's a couple things easy that something I'm wrong about, something we can, logical but not the rule. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to figure that out on replay.
I think that's in reference to something else somebody was saying, maybe.
I'm not sure. Probably in reference to something I'm saying, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, you remember, Oops Leos.
You know what? John Lennon and Brian Wilson hated their voices. Yeah, I mean, everybody fucking hates their voice recorded, man. There's very few people, and the only people that I've ever met who loved their voice recorded were cocky assholes. So watch out for those type.
Yeah, I think that you're perfectly within the realm of reason, Andrew, to not like your own voice. I think that means you're #humble brag.
Daniel Lenoir. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Bob Dylan, Cohen, Young, Al, all have non-golden voices. Yeah. I mean, I think that's actually one friend of mine who has a really good voice once said that those are he likes more people who don't have traditionally good voices.
But James Brown was a cocky asshole. Let's be honest.
Right? Yeah, I mean, he loved his voice. Yeah,
he was cocky as fuck. But he also spawned or collected some of the best musicians to ever grace the music industry. James Brown,
this whole thing, like the
he knew somebody that could fucking play. Yeah, he was no bullshit.
You were losing pay if you had a wrong note. I mean, he demanded the best from the people he played with.
That's because he thought he was the best. So I mean,
these are all relative terms, though. Like, especially when it comes to music, everything is subjective, objective. Like, that's something I've been realizing. It's like, I don't know.
So easy, yeah. That, like, the reamp stuff, spatial stuff, weird experiments, like that's my style of production. But my style of production is also trying to make sure that the musicians get what they want out of their respective instrument as it applies to the project. So, like, if you got a drummer who likes classic, like 60s rock drum sounds, and you got one who, like I said, is into sublime bass tones, and then you got one who listens to, like, stoner and doom, and that's what the guitar sound is. Like, I enjoy the pursuit of trying to figure out how to make those three things fit into the same package. So for me, that would be my take on production, not so much the transcribing things and arranging things and doing all that bullshit. Not that I won't do that or I won't help with that. I mean, it certainly happens where I do projects with singer-songwriters and I end up writing songs for them underneath the songs that they came in with. It's like, alternate parts and whatever.
It comes down to serving client.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, regardless of how you title yourself, is that you have to make sure that like the client is happy and that they're getting what it is that they expected and what
it's their art, you know.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to help somebody with their like achieve their artistic vision? You know, I don't want to go in there and like monkey wrench some shit just because I think it sounds good, or it all comes down to, well, what do they think? How do they think it sounds? You know.
Easy said, I dig these guys. They don't come off as your typical YouTube know-it-all types. we're definitely not know-it-alls, man.
Yeah, like, I'm learning shit every day.
We both know,
especially from this gang of
we both know a lot of
hanging out in the chat.
We both know a lot of shit, but we both also are well aware of the things that we don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Bishu's peacing out. Later, Bishu. Good to have you. Come through anytime. We'll be around this summer once you're on high school summer vacation. So come through Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, my friend.
Easy. I've had people come up and like, you know, their idea of what an engineer is also a producer, and what their idea of a producer is somebody who makes all of the tracks, and then they just come in and sing or rap. And like, while that is a production style, especially in the modern sense, that's not my production style. So I turn those sessions away because that's not what I do. That's not what I'm here for. And it's not where I'm comfortable. You know, for the most part, it's really not the gig that I've signed myself up for. You know, there are a lot of.
Do you get a lot of offers like that? I didn't know that you did.
I've had a bunch of people come up looking for things like that, and like, you know,
that's just not a cup of tea.
I'm not
awesome,
guru.
Man.
I'm not
dude,
like
awesome.
sitting behind the desk. So you know, Jigga's got something to rap over or whatever. You know, I mean, there are tons of people everywhere that do that, and that's not me.
And I feel like some people would also just do that so that they could get the paycheck. You know.
Yeah.
No, it comes down to know thyself and know what it is that you want to do. If that's not something you want to do, then
Well said. How do you advertise your studio, get the word out? I don't.
You're looking at it.
I don't. I don't give a shit. There's a Facebook page for it. I know tons of people in the local scene. Sometimes work filters down through that. You know, whatever. I'm not hanging out a banner or a shingle or a calling card. I have business cards. If I meet somebody who hasn't recorded something yet and I like the shit they're making, I might drop one on them.
Mostly word of mouth.
Everything, just about everything that I've done recording wise, repair wise, building shit wise is word of mouth. It's, you know, getting to know people, being chill with people, showing up when people need you for something. I
mean, Jay's like a local celebrity.
I don't know about that, but
I mean, one time we were just hanging out on Wall Street in Kingston, and that guy came up to you and was like,
"Yo, I love your band.
Great show, man. That was so awesome."
Yeah,
like, that's not. I people don't like. I don't know. You definitely have like a pulse on. I think what's going on locally, or you're in a facet of the local scene.
Well, I don't know. Like our local scene has like
fragmented, but yeah.
Well, it's fragmented, and there's like this whole like venue-centric circle jerk that happens.
Sure,
right.
Sure.
So like each venue sort of has like its clique of people, and it's really hard to break into that clique.
Right.
But when you like open the door and look in, they're just in there jerking each other off.
Right.
You know, so I'm not part of that. I'm not subscribing to any of that bullshit. But
why would you want to?
I don't want to.
Me either.
On the rare opportunity that we get to play those places, I go in and I try to like infiltrate it and make fun of it the whole time I'm there, and then I fucking leave. I take my door cut and I'm out. I don't really have any use for that kind of shit. That's why I really like to try to stay around the DIY spaces and be involved with people who are super fucking chill people. Whether they're great musicians or not, whatever you think of them, I don't give half a shit. But you know, I think not to use an overly used term, but I think real recognizes real, you know. For sure. I tend to gravitate towards people who I think are cool, and they tend to gravitate
genuineness too, you know. It's
like I don't like bullshit.
Me either, man. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
I don't like airs. I don't like any of that.
Dude.
It's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, much love to the TascFam. Thank you guys all for coming out again.
Easy said, gotcha. I've been in the industry a long time. Can't make the kind of money I used to anymore. And yeah, there's not.
Yeah,
it's not out there, man. There's too many bedroom producers now.
Yep. Everybody does it themselves. You know, that's what we're talking about. iPhones. We're talking about iPads, like all that stuff. You know, and like you made the whole recording on everybody's iPhone. Like anybody can just go and do their thing. You know.
Yeah, I linked that. I don't know if anybody tried it out, but
yeah, later, J-Rod. We'll catch you later. We're probably gonna be signing off here in a minute.
Are we?
9 p.m. already. We've been hitting it pretty hard. So, do you guys have any last questions or any closing questions for us or closing questions for the community? What do you guys want to?
That's a pretty cool way to go about it, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like when you're grassroots with a studio, you know, you're not a big name in a giant building with $10 million worth of gear. Like, you got to get the work where you can find it. And if you want people to want to come and work with you, then you have to be not only available, but you have to be, you know, on the radar as somebody who's chill and who's worth getting to know and worth going to work with, you know?
Right. I mean,
there's a lot of people I know who like are musicians and recording artists who like won't even give me the fucking time of day when it comes to doing studio shit, even for free.
Yeah.
You know, like I fix their gear, we hang out and talk and go to, you know, common shows sometimes or whatever, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
We're just, you know, we're too far apart or whatever. And again, I don't give a fuck. Like if what I do is not the right aesthetic for you or my studio is not the right space for you, then fuck you. Don't come.
Yeah.
I don't care. I want to work with people who want to work with me.
For sure.
So if you're not down, then don't be down. I don't care. Don't come through. Don't, you know, whatever. Fuck it.
It's not worth forcing it.
Nah.
Who is or what's your favorite old TascFam recordings that created a buzz? Oh man, we have like a whole thread dedicated to this topic. Easy,
are you on the 424 recording forum? If not, you should probably check that out. 424recording.com/forum. Sign up.
Yeah.
We have pages and pages of discussions on that. Yeah, I would say
Elliott Smith for sure.
Guided
Yeah.
by Voices probably.
Yeah. I mean, I did a record review, I think a couple months ago on Elliott Smith's debut. So I mean, like,
yeah,
sorry, I'm like, I don't know. All of a sudden, I was just like, got hit with like a wave of.
I can't wait to walk to like the gas station and get a
mango
dude.
Juice, honestly.
Yeah,
man.
That's where I'm at.
How's New Paltz? New Paltz is kicking it, man. We're kicking it.
Yeah.
We're gonna be walking around town in a minute. Yo, thank you, Izzy.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
Hope to see you on those forums, and we hope to catch you in some more streams too.
Yeah. I'll drop the link right here if you want to check out the forum.
It's always great to see the TascFam come out, and it's even better to see that TascFam expand with new faces who, you know, are sort of engaged.
Yeah. Thanks for coming through. This has been great. Asking a lot of really awesome questions, really furthering the
Andrew, where's your brother going to school?
Everything awesome.
Sorry, I feel like I keep jumping on.
Oh, it's all good, man. I feel like I'm like really laid back tonight. I'm just kind of like.
My brother just got to school in NY.
SVA. Is that in New York? School of Visual Arts?
School of Visual. Oh, in the city. Must be.
I think New York, yeah.
In New York City?
Is that like part of the new school? I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We're about, what? Well, I'm about an hour or 2 hours north of.
No, you're an hour and 20 minutes or so out of the city.
It's dope, man. If he wants to come through, it's a great place to hang.
For sure.
Summer's a little quieter with the school, but there's a lot of what you call it, like tourists and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Twin says, Mike, did those tapes come? I'm assuming that something was sent to the P.O. Box, Twin. I haven't gotten anything at the moment. I checked that. Oh yeah, that's right. You sent me a tracking number recently, right? I checked the tracking and it was still in transit. So I'll see tomorrow morning if it's here and see what's going on. Yeah, we played Matt's track at the top of the hour. If you guys want to check it out, it's also linked there. A great song. Reverie of Palms coming through. What's going on with that, Matt? Are you putting out like an album or are you just doing tracks right at the moment? So Twin, I will I'll check that out and I'll get back to you via email as to when that comes through. And hopefully we can open it on the next stream, or I'll open it in the next video. Hopefully it comes, you know. I'm super pumped to check them out, Twin. I don't know what they are, but it sounds awesome. And thank you for sending it.
Did I give you those Type 2 tapes, by the way?
No. I remember you showing them to me.
I thought.
Oh wait, I think they are in the box. Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to like do a giveaway with that one of those.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
Yeah, Andrew, the like I said, those fuzz boards should be here, and like I think earlier or middle of next week.
Cool.
And I'll prototype one of each to make sure they're working. But you got to tell me if you want a kit or if you're going to load it with your own parts and you just need a list of values and stuff. I have tons of different transistor options and, you know, a bunch of ways you could go. Yeah, so I mean, I was kind of thinking like a push-pull pot to bypass it in the guitar, and that could be like the output volume or the balance cool. When it comes to like the fuzz, right? Jesus, now I did it.
Now you did it.
My bad, man.
It's all good. I'd be down for kits. I'm still learning a bit.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're cool with assembling it out of just raw parts,
yeah, I need lots of advice.
Do that, or I could build them and send them to you for a little bit more. It's up to you. But yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it in email once I get the boards in and tested. We can figure out like what our plan of attack is.
For sure, yeah. I'd be curious about those too, man. I mean, I haven't really messed around with that, but maybe.
What, fuzz rights?
Well, yeah, I'd be curious.
Fuzz rights are awesome, man.
Check them out, like look at them.
Yeah.
Like populating them and stuff. Are you building any of them, or you already have a couple?
Well, I'm gonna build the cheap Weller will be fine as long as you got like 60-40 or some sort of lead solder to go with it. Fuck that lead-free shit. So I'm
not
gonna
mention the fumes.
All the fumes will fuck you up.
40, lots of lead.
Yep, there you go.
Mad Hatter.
So I'll be building at least one of each.
Cool.
We
should do a video on them.
I won't build them into boxes. I'll just populate the boards and test them on the bench.
Let's do a little video of them for shits, man. What do you think? Sound cool?
I mean, I guess we could.
You heard it here first, folks.
Video on how to populate these little PC boards.
Oh, I meant like the sound, like after they're built, we could do like a comparison of them.
Yeah, that's doable.
Cool.
Cat Bro showing.
Oh my God, Cat Bro just shows up, coming through. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh no, it's still only 9. He's still got another hour.
Nope.
He's coming in for some water.
I'm eating water and then you're gonna feed me.
All right, guys. Well, drop a like if you like this. What were you gonna say?
Andrew said that would be sweet. What would be sweet? The video on how to build it, or just some demos beforehand? I'm guessing demos beforehand. I have to decide if we're using vintage germanium transistors or modern silicon transistors. That's really like where I'm at with it.
That's like what really determines the flavor, right?
Yeah. I also have some really cool, super old metal can transistors, and I have a shit ton of them that might be cool. And
you pull them out of something?
Fuzz right? No, they're new old stock.
Wow.
I got a couple hundred of them.
Jay, oh, you got the message there from Jeb. He owes you some cash.
Hey, John, man. Yeah, whatever if you want to get me with whatever we did last time, man, I don't know. That's all good. Whatever. I just like doing it, really. So if you want to donate on top of that, that's cool. How about collecting? Not sure where to get stuff, demos or how. Well, what part? You know what? Email me the parts that you've collected so far, and I'll tell you what else we need, and we'll figure out exactly what we got to do to get you to the finish line on these things.
Does anybody do that on YouTube right now? I don't know. I mean,
I'm sure there's like videos of like.
I mean, that would be a cool. Clones. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. I was thinking that would be a cool like channel.
These are going to be tricky because the board is really small, so that you could fit it like in the, in like a Strat body cavity. There's like that extra recess.
Yeah.
I wanted it to fit in that extra recess.
That's dope.
so that it's out of the fucking way.
So
How do you
so
power
it's just
it?
like a switch, like when you want it to come on, or how does it work?
I want to do a push-pull pot.
Oh, that's cool.
So like when it's in, it's bypassed, you pull it out,
And it comes on.
and that pot is also your, like with the
Cleans
fuzz
up.
right,
Yeah.
with your fuzz right, that would be the output of the fuzz, like how dirty it is.
That's cool.
With the fuzz right, it's like balance.
Jay, I don't know. Jay has his Google profile, but he doesn't have. I've been trying. He has a video.
Curious what you're doing for Jeb. I've mixed a couple songs for Jeb so far.
I mixed one too.
Yeah, Mike did too. I'll probably end up doing some kind of final mastering if we do any more tunes together, he and I. Haven't added any drums, but I've done a lot of work on resculpting the drums that were sent. And,
yeah, that was awesome.
Been having a lot of fun with that.
That was really cool.
I put a push-pull in my dad's bass for tone. Yeah, I like push-pulls in instruments, or push-push actually is really tight too. I don't know if you guys have seen those.
What's that?
It's where you push it once to turn it on, you push it again, it turns it off.
That's cool.
It's like a latching thing, so that you can't, it's really hard to accidentally disengage it. You have to like want to change the thing. Whereas like with a push-pull, it'll be pulled out, and if you like bump it with your hand, then it bypasses it.
Right.
But powering it will be up to the end user. I mean, it'll be a 9-volt battery, but I'm not including anything for you to do that with. You'll have to figure that out. I could give you instructions on how to phantom power it through your guitar cable, but that's a whole other thing. Let's see.
Oh, Seamus McGuire, what's going on? I think you just came in at the last second here. Hello, I have a question regarding cleaning TascFam potentiometers. I can't tell if they're cleanable or if they are closed, and I just need to replace them. Any advice?
Seamus, the pots on the TascFam are notoriously difficult to get to, but what you'll find when you're looking at them is on the face, you should find 2 little pinholes, one at either corner. Those go inside the body. So if you aim your nozzle of your Deoxit or Fader Lube F5 keg, whatever, if you point that at that hole and just give it a little burst in each one of those holes, that should flush the pot out. They're small body. They're essentially a sealed pot except for those little pinholes.
Yeah, because you were trying to get the knobs off that.
It's a fucking pain in the ass. I will warn you ahead of time, like you will come close to breaking pots getting the knobs off. I just did one that was like a total bear, but anyway, I'm gonna have to hit you up about some.
I need a pan pot for my 388 guy.
Hold on, where am I at here? I'll probably be interested in swapping it for a fuzz circuit just for shits and giggles. Swapping, what are you swapping? Oh, weird switch to boost the signal. Word. Yeah, man, like these fuzz boards, I could, Will, I'm sure I could put one of those in an envelope and probably send it to you with like 2 US stamps. They're an inch by an inch, like, especially if you don't need a populated.
1/4 inch thick, I think.
Yeah, it will be.
For my
PC boards are like.
Oh, right, yeah, they're like pretty thin. Oh yeah, you'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Probably fit in like a tiny padded mailer. I don't think that'd be a problem at all.
Seamus opened it up and see the pinholes. Thanks for the help.
Where do you?
You know, the fact I can spend 5 minutes to recharge and come across a live stream. You lucked out, Seamus. We go live 7 p.m. to around 9 p.m. Eastern, so you came in at the right time, my friend. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel too. There's tons of information.
Yeah,
we'll have to do a video on that exact topic. That's a good one.
And check this out too, Seamus. You're looking at those pinholes. So turn the pot all the way down.
Nice.
Anti-clockwise. Spray the top hole. Rotate it all the way around clockwise. Spray the lower pinhole, and then exercise between the 2. That's what I usually do with them. And yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that, my friend.
It's
the community, man.
Pan pot for my 388. Got any? Easy. Can you start a thread on the forum with a picture of the pot? I bet I can find you one.
I'm going to bump your email here too. Operation Audio. Oh, our pleasure, Seamus. Come through anytime.
Yeah, definitely. Hope to see you again. Any other questions, let us know. Coop, yeah, if you need mix master stuff, either myself or from Mike, let us know.
Yeah.
We're here for all you guys. It's just that, only a few so far.
We hadn't really
hit
it
us up
wasn't
or
really
anything.
advertising it,
I think I've said it pretty much every time I've been on the stream.
Oh,
that,
okay.
if anybody wants anything done, to let us know. That's not an empty threat. Like, if you want something done, we'll do it. So, I try to turn shit around pretty fast. I mean,
I
get excited
sitting for Joel. I've been meaning to master it for him. Sent me a while ago.
I get super excited when people send me like new tracks to mess with.
Yeah.
So I kind of just dive in like face first. So how do people send you guys unmixed parts to mix and master? I'm confused. So Matt, what has been happening? Like, Jeb will send me a zipped file or a rare file, and then I unpack it and I load it into my DAW. You make sure all your tracks start at 0.
There's a way to bounce it down from the DAW.
Yeah, you'll export tracks as individual WAV files or whatever. Turn your plugins off. Set all your volumes to 0 or bypass automation and whatever.
There's a way to bounce down whole projects so that
it becomes WAV files, and then you zip those and you send them over, and I listen to them.
Dropbox or Google, what is that called? Google Attachments or
Google Drive.
Google Drive, yeah.
Yeah. You send it. There's a ton of different services.
Yeah, it's awesome because now that we can upload. I feel like it took a long time to do that in the past, but now the speed of the internet.
Yeah. Hey, Coop. The other thing is, if you have tracks that you like the performance of, but you're not really feeling the sound, send us those. Like, I love to reamp things and send shit through ambient stuff and make new sounds out of old sounds. So, like, if your drums aren't fat enough,
specialty.
If your drums aren't fat enough, or something's not in your face enough, or whatever it is, or it needs a room sound and it's a sample and you can't get a room sound, I can get a room sound. Andrew,
Jay's got some pretty cool room sounds, actually.
Andrew says, once I have something worth mixing, I'll send it your way. Everything's worth mixing. If you spent the time recording it, it's worth putting the proper mix on, regardless of who does it, whether it's us or you or whoever. Yeah, consolidate tracks in Pro Tools, yeah.
Oh, is that the command or whatever?
Right on. Yeah. Okay. I don't know jack about software. I guess it's time I get on the software bandwagon. Well, Matt, if you're not really into software, maybe there's somebody around you that that has some software that you could dump it into that would help you bounce it out and send it on. I mean, that could work too. There's nothing saying you got to go like set up a whole rig just to get it off of the 4-track or the 8-track or whatever to be able to bounce it on.
Right. And that now Logic too has that crazy software. In
a perfect world, I would have the same machine that you have, and I would, be able to take your cassette or whatever and do the bounce stuff right in the studio. But unfortunately, I'm not set up with one of every machine that all these guys are playing with. Not yet.
We're getting there. Matt sent us the 424.
Yeah.
For Logic, yeah. Well, have you? I would say Logic is a good step if you've maxed out GarageBand. That's actually, I think recently I recommended that to Sean because he was wondering about when to make that step.
You can get cracked versions of Logic, but you didn't hear that here.
Oh yeah, Reaper too. I think is free.
Reaper is fucking free, and it has most everything that all the other DAWs have. Similar functionality. The interface is a little more basic, but you got to use what you have access to. I mean, if GarageBand is happening for you at present, then use GarageBand.
Yeah, if you got a Mac, it comes with it. So
yeah, I mean,
and that's a lot of people seem to have that question. Well, when should I go for Logic? I think GarageBand. If you get to a point where you can't do something that you want to do in GarageBand, that's when you want to get Logic.
Matt, that Matt says he uses a TascFamp DP32 primarily. That records to an SD card, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can mail the SD card.
You can either mail the SD card or get a SD card reader and plug it into a computer.
Yeah, and just bounce
get the files off of it.
A lot of computers have SD card slots now too. I know my laptop does. That's what I use for all the video stuff. Just pop that sucker in. That's what we did at the video.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then you can also get SD card readers that will go from USB 3 to an SD card reader. I don't know how much they are, but
you can send me the SD card. I have SD card readers for the Mac, so I mean that's always an option. It's GarageBand. Yeah, GarageBand can be useful. I mean, it has its limitations, but if you're just getting into recording, I mean, start out with using what you got. Simple as that.
Oh, Jeb said, I'm working on something using your drum sample collection. That's awesome. So much fun.
Awesome.
My pleasure, man. I'm actually working on, I actually recorded, I might as well let you guys know since you're here, Capro sample pack coming out soon. All the sounds of Capro. We got a sample pack from the cabin session that I did a while ago. Some of the sounds I debuted on one of the live streams we did. A lot of like weird sounds, like shotgun cocking, sweeping the floor, just all stuff we did that was in the cabin. Tim sounding like he's from Animal Collective. That's a really fun pack. That's going to be coming out. And I have another 808 pack. It's called 8 Mic 8. It's going to just a couple 808 sounds. So ran through the tape, ran through the 414.
So Matt said I could just send an SD card. Awesome. Matt, what I would say is that before you send that SD card, email whoever you're sending it to, and I'll find the information in the manual on how to make sure that those tracks are consolidated in the right way, so that like what I get off your SD card isn't like 75 vocal clips or whatever. That, because putting that shit back together without a guide track gets to be pretty tough. But it can all be done, and we can guide you through it, whether that takes phone calls or whatever. I'm sure we can get there. Yeah, I mean, if you guys need anything, you know where to reach us. So,
and I'm actually working on a revamp of the website today. I didn't tell you, but we're going to have a services area on there so that.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, so
easy. The Harrison mix bus. That's an environment that works with the DAW, isn't it? It's to like simulate the two bus of the Harrison console, like on the output. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I might have to look that up for myself. But yeah, so we're pushing 9:22 now.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
I would say we should probably wrap it, unless we get, I know we had a couple. I'm glad that Seamus was able to come through and let us know what up.
So easy, you have to assign that like a plugin though to use it, don't you? Or am I misunderstanding something about how that works? Or is it like a standalone environment, like Ozone or something? It's a DAW by itself? All right, I'm gonna do my research. I'm not gonna pester the stream with it.
We got the notepad.
That's interesting.
Like Pro Tools, cool.
I assumed it was like a two bus simulator, like like what comes with all the UAD bundles and shit now. That's what I meant. I'm sure it has a sound. That's cool though. I'll look into that.
Yeah, and just one last thing about the drum packs we were just talking about. I'm going to be probably doing a video this week about it. I think on Friday, unless I do another vlog or something. But there's going to be a bunch more packs coming out, so keep an ear to the ground. And we got to do one from Audio.
I mean, there's a shit ton of drums.
I know you probably already have samples. You probably already have hits we could use, but
not of everything though. There's a lot of like really old tube lug marching drums and shit up there that don't come out for anything.
We're gonna have to. I think one day that'll be fun. Maybe we do a live stream where we're just doing that, going through the sounds, and then we'll make the pack out of them too. That would be cool. I'll keep up with you on those boards. I have to finish a 20-page paper. School's over. Oh my gosh.
Holy fuck.
What do ones and zeros sound like? Later, Andrew. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for coming through. Good luck with the paper, my friend.
Yeah, good luck, Andrew. We'll talk soon about those boards.
Yeah.
What do ones and zeros sound like? I don't know. Where is this going, Will?
Why don't you ask Siri or Google?
Beep bop.
Cheers for the live stream. Oh, Will, thanks for coming through, my friend. Well,
yeah, beep boop, exactly.
Guys, drop a like if you like this. What do you say? Should we wrap it?
Yeah, might as well wrap it.
Yeah.
We'll go get a juice and have a walk.
Yeah, we got to go for a walk. Guys, thank you so much for coming to hang with us tonight. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern is the live stream with me and Jay. Next week, we're going to be live from the Bohemisphere, Jay's studio, or Bohemisphere, sorry, no, the up in
whatever.
So come with some more questions for us and send us some emails. Check out the Bandcamp if you want to get the samples.
Also, check out that Flourish link that I put up earlier about.
We got a lot of stuff. You know what? I'm gonna have to go through and I'll make sure I put all the links in the description.
Take it easy. Cheers for coming out.
Yeah, easy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for all the
coming out
questions.
and hanging.
Thanks
Yeah, great
for
questions.
Being involved. Appreciate
Please come through the forum and bring your knowledge, my friend. That's like such a wealth of knowledge. It's awesome.
Later on, Matt.
Hot dog as a sandwich? I don't know. We'll leave it up to you guys to ponder, whatever you think. Friends, speed my gods.
Peace out, Andrew. Peace out, John. Have a great night.
Oh my God.
Have a great night, everybody.
Look who we got. Capro made an appearance. He had to come through. What's up, buddy? He's going to jump.
Absolutely will. You have a great night. And hopefully.
He likes Jay.
There's the cat, bro.
And the Capro came out.
Holding me down.
I think that's
where are you going? No, come back. I was trying to level you up. All right,
guys. Yep. Oh, yeah, the Kickstarter too. We forgot to mention.
Oh yeah, Kickstarter.
That's happening, right?
It's still live.
We're still live.
How many percent funded now?
I think we're actually 199%.
199% funded.
Yeah.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, guys. That's all you guys really. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to do it if we had done that locally. So
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming out back in the project. I think we're at 3,990 right now. So if anyone wants to put us over the 4K mark, that's all you. We added
for dollars
a stretch goal to 6K. I think we're going to supply some.
We'll include power supplies appropriate for your region based on your shipping information.
Yeah. So
if we hit 6K.
If we hit it, I don't know. It's looking, it could happen. It might not.
I think we're 50-50 on it.
Yeah. So
my prediction was 4 as the ceiling, and we're
about to
that.
Breach that.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm bad at statistics anyway. It's all that math I didn't learn in high school.
Honestly, I thought there was about a 50-50 we were going to do 2K, the 2K mark. I mean, I knew that we'd eventually probably get the first batch of 10 out, but this is awesome. We're going to have a lot of pedals to make this summer, so thank you, guys, and thanks for bumping that in the. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. We completely forgot.
Coop, if I pay you a clean 10K, will you build me a Neve board clone?
That's this guy over here.
Man, I don't know about that. If you get a pre-built power supply and you supply the bucket, I'll build you clone modules. But I don't know about from scratch for 10.
Oh,
the reason those things are expensive.
Andrew's offering up his soldering hands.
Yeah, I see that.
We could use an
Andrew, where are you? What is your?
I feel like Andrew's in Portland though, right?
Portland, yeah. Actually, Andrew, if you're in is it Portland? What? Oregon?
I think Oregon, yeah.
If you're in Portland, Oregon, why don't you reach out to Debbie Ever?
Is that where she's at?
Yeah, Debbie Ever's in Portland, Oregon, and she's been working on putting her pedal business.
Oh, cool.
Well, shit. I mean, if you head over this way to visit your brother, and you want to come up for a day and spend some time in the shop soldering and stuff when we're doing the builds.
What do you think? What do we figure? Maybe June, July. I think we're.
When does it end again?
Ends on May 2nd.
So yeah, we're probably
a couple
looking
of weeks
at
for the money to clear, and then
it'll take a few weeks for the money to clear, a few weeks to get the enclosures. But in that between the time the money clears and the time that the enclosures arrive, the boards will be on the way and all the parts will be on the way.
Okay.
So whatever that looks like.
It's looking like, I don't know, late May, Andrew, if you're coming through. We might have some
Debbie Ever.
Oh, Debbie Ever, yeah.
For a cool middle, Jake moved to Mississippi and makes a master all my tunes. For like
he'll do it for a cool
for like a few $100, especially if you want to do it like next winter when it's cold as balls here. I come down for a couple weeks. But yeah, so seriously though, if you want to learn how to get involved in the soldering game in Portland, yeah, either Debbie or Cattle and Bread might have some sort of intern position where you could learn some of those skills from experienced individuals. But absolutely, if you're here, I'd be down to
the
put
power
you on one of the
behind
extra soldering irons. And,
yeah.
you know, whatever.
Look at him just nestling
Damn,
up right
chilling.
here. Straight chilling. Let me get a little angle for the closing shot here. Straight chilling.
Will they really send you kits, Coop? I didn't know that.
It's got his
Very
socks
interesting.
on. It's 2 little socks.
Yeah, for free, of course, I bet.
Nice, man. Never been out here. Cool.
Oh, yeah, you should definitely come through then.
Capro, leader of the 424 party. All he wants is kibble, and he'd be happy.
So, all right, it's 9:30 on the button.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it. TascFam, we'll catch you. Oh man! All right.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you next week on the stream from my spot.
Yeah.
Email him, email me, get us on the forum, like, subscribe, Kickstarter.
There's too many things. Like,
all the things, and do something you wanted to do or you want to do.
Hell yeah. We're gonna go for a walk, close out the night, get some juice.
Sounds good to me.
So that's what we want to do. So peace out, guys. Thanks for hanging with us tonight, as always. And yeah, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's when we're on the channel. Come through. Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications, but you probably already knew that. All right. We're gonna eat some cookies and
There's cookies?
No. We can make some though. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the flip flop.
All right.
Peace. Are you sure you want to end the stream? Not yet. And all right.